Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video on electronic science. So today we're going to be seeing if we can wire up this old elevator call station so that when you push the button it'll turn on, and basically exploring and figuring out how one of these elevator call stations work. So stay tuned for a video on electronic science.
Hello everybody, you're watching Electronic Science.
Alrighty then, hello everybody and welcome back to another video on electronic science. So today we're going to be taking a look at this old elevator call station. So basically what this thing used to do is it used to be mounted into a wall in a real elevator system, and just say you wanted to go up, you would push the up button, or down, you would push the down button. Now obviously this had to have been on a floor above the first one or below the last one, because obviously it has the both up and down arrows. And this was once used in a real system, so I'm going to give you guys a really quick backstory on how I got this. So basically my godfather, he works on elevators. Now more specifically at this time, he's refurbishing these old elevators and taking in all the old parts and putting in new parts. So this is actually an older style elevator call station. But it still works, and I've done a bunch of testing, and it's actually really cool to, salvage and, kind of build a cool little replica of an elevator. He also gave me some bells and lights from inside the elevators, but that's a video for a different day. But today what we're going to be doing is exploring this elevator call station. Now, so basically, this was once used in a real system, as I think I mentioned before, so I'm sure this has been touched by a lot of people. So before we start working on it, let's give it a little clean up and a little refurbish of our own. Alright, so I got two wipes here. I got a Clorox wipe and then like this wipe for like stainless steel material, which is what I believe this is. So I'm going to do a quick wipe down of this elevator call station, and I will be right back. I'll say that looks a ton better now. It has a lot more shininess to it, and some of the little imperfections and little specks of whatever have now been removed. So now let's get to wiring this up and making this look even more cool. Alrighty then, everybody. So on the elevator call station, right now we're taking a look at the back. You can see this is basically the entire circuitry on it in the grand scheme of things. Now basically what the U and the D or lettering, I guess you could say, means is basically the up and down part of it, because technically if we were to make the down on the up, you could see, well, it's not really in the frame of my camera, but the arrows, there's really no telling the difference whether it's upside down or not. So this way, if you were actually installing it in a real system, you know which one was up and down so that you wouldn't mix up the buttons. So anyways, we have 4 wires coming out of the back, 2 of which are these orange wires, and then the other 2 are these yellow wires. Now, every elevator call station is different. How do I know this, you might ask? Well, let me tell you something. When I looked up the YouTube videos and documentation for how to do this, there was no elevator call station that looked like this. Every elevator call station is different. But they all basically work on the same concept. There's kind of like a switch. And if you don't know how to switch works, check out my Electronic Basics 101 series on how to wire an LED up to a switch. But, this basically is like normally open and normally closed switches. Now, what you need here is you need power and you need the switching device. So, spoiler alert here, the switching part is these yellow wires, and the power for the entire system back here are these orange wires. And you can see this orange wire marked with the electrical tape is the one that you connect to the negative on your supply. Now, you might be wondering, how do I figure this out? Well, basically, what you're going to need is a multimeter. Now, I don't have my multimeter in the frame right this second, but it looks a little... Your multimeter might look a little something like this. Now, what I did was you put it on continuity, and I pushed the buttons and probed around the tabs on here and along with the wires, and it would beep sometimes when I pushed a button, other times it wouldn't, and then I came up with a little schematic, and I figured out which one would get connected to positive or negative. That's basically how you figure it out. Now, this project is so big and not in a breadboard that I'm going to do a little bit of a different video format, so I hope this all works out. So yeah, let's get to wiring my elevator call station. Alrighty then, everybody. So what I'm going to do with the call station right now is I'm going to look for the one that says U, and I'm going to stand it up according to that, and I'm going to use a clamp to kind of keep it upright. Kind of like this. Now what you're going to need is, this does not run on mains. So if you're a beginner with this type of stuff, you don't need to worry about plugging anything into the wall and having to go through all the electrical safety things and everything like that. All you're going to need is a bench power supply or a battery. Now, what I've seen on the internet is they probably work anywhere from 9 to 24 volts. I find that my elevator call station works pretty good on 12 volts. And I really don't feel safe going over that because I really don't want to blow any of the circuitry back here. Although there are really some high power resistors and diodes in there to ensure that you don't overvolt this thing. So after you've done your multimeter probing and have a rough idea of how you need to connect this, what you're going to do is take your 2 power wires, and according to the polarity, you're going to connect them up to your supply. Alright, I have the power supply switched on, so what I'm going to do is going to take the one that I marked with electrical tape and connect it to the negative of my supply, and take the one that's not marked and connect it to the positive. Now, as you can see, nothing is happening because we did not push any buttons yet. You can see when I push the buttons, the LEDs in the call station buttons light up. But you notice when I release them, they turn off. Now, in a real elevator system, what would happen is when you push the button, it would stay on after you release it. In this case here, as soon as I release it, it turns off. Now, you might be wondering why. Well, technically, this is just a call station. I do not have the entire system controller, computer, or anything like that. Or even the simple relay. But I might be getting that relay pretty soon. So stay tuned and I'll make a part 2 to this video if I do. But basically, if you don't have those relays, you can basically act like the relay. So remember how we still have these 2 other wires back here? In my case, they're the 2 yellow wires that are exposed. Well, I'm not sure if this is the actual technical name for them, but I call them the signal wire. Now, basically what you do is when you push the button, you send a signal up to the controller in the elevator system, which means the user pushed the up button or the down button. And then what that does is it sends it to a relay, or usually now a computerized thing. I'm not really sure what to call it. And it will tell the this relay or whatever to switch on. And basically when it switches on, it keeps the button lit up. As you can see, I'm not pressing it, but when I connect this wire here to the positive terminal of my supply, it turns it on. So what I'm going to try to do is act like the relay here. So I'm going to push the button, and then momentarily I'm going to act as if the relay switched and put that onto the positive. And you can see now when I release it, the LED stays on. And now we're going to pretend here that the elevator is coming up, and when the elevator comes up to the destination floor, it'll hit another relay switch thingy, and it'll tell this to turn off, and then the light turns off, and the elevator doors open up. And you can do the same thing with the bottom one. Now the bottom one is just the opposite wire, so now if I connect that to the positive, you can see it'll turn on the bottom one. And so I push the bottom one, but the bottom one's a lot harder to push on this for some reason. And can you keep it connected to the positive, wait for it to come up, and then it releases. Or if you just want to have some fun with it, you could just push the buttons, and as soon as you release them, they could turn off. Now there's many uses for this. Just say you wanted to connect both of these signal wires to your positive of your supply that you had your elevator call station connected to. It could be like a little, if I can get these going here, it could be like a little makeshift nightlight in your room or something like that if you had it mounted to the wall. And really, you don't even need a power supply for this. If you had a 12-volt rechargeable battery, you'd be all set. Or even a 12-volt wall transformer. And as you can see, if the power supply is in view, it draws very little current. Now, it obviously has to draw a tiny bit of current, but it's so little, it's not even a tenth of an amp, so it really doesn't draw a lot of current. So you don't really need to worry about the current in this type of a circuit. Or you could just have fun and connect it and not worry about the signal wires. And when you go by, you can push it and play around with it and have fun and show your friends. So yeah, there you have it. Or, even more, you can keep one lit up and one to push. Connect one, the other one you can push. So there's many cool little things you can do with an elevator call station. So there you have it, how to use an elevator call station as a really cool effect to push the buttons and make them light up, and you can even act as the relay to make them stay on and make a really cool little effect outside of an entire elevator system. And hopefully in the future I might be getting some relays that when you push the button, it'll actually keep the button lit up for a few seconds before it turns off, so that you won't have to act as a relay. So if anybody watching does have those relays, they could really, I could teach you guys how to do that, and it would be really awesome. But anyways, guys, I'd like to thank you guys for watching the video. If you guys enjoyed it, please remember to leave a thumbs up on this video. And also subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon if you like our content. Also, leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this project, have any video ideas for the future, or if you just want to comment, right? But anyways, guys, I'm Electronic Science, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, everybody.